Get that out of here.
And one. Tennessee just gutsy right now. Number 3. Money. The exclamation point. Tennessee is the real UT today. Sarah Puckett, top of the key. Got it. Alexis Dye. A big win in Big Orange Country for the Lady Vols.
Welcome to Countdown to Tipoff, presented by UT Knoxville alumni and Tennessee Athletics. Happy Big Orange Friday, everybody, and thank you for joining us for our virtual pep rally. I'm Brian Rice, radio personality and UT alum. Today's event would not be possible without our great partners and sponsors, including Cellular Sales, First Horizon, Graphic Creations, Graduate Knoxville, One Riverwalk, Pilot Company, Threads, Coca-Cola, Food City, Farm Bureau Insurance, and UT Medical Center. Now let's get started. Today's highlights include an interview with Lady Vol for Life Meighan Simmons, all the way from the other side of the world, a feature on Lady Vol Key and Green, my keys to the game coming up here in just a moment, some behind-the-scenes exclusives, our Lady Vol Fan of the Week, and more. Now, the Lady Vols return to the hardwood on Sunday against Connecticut. After a tough night against Florida last night, no doubt about that, no dancing around that. How can the Lady Vols reconnect with themselves and come out victorious against long-standing rival Connecticut? Well, here are 3 keys to the game. First of all is find an answer inside. Tamari Key, obviously one of the best players in the country. You've had Alexis Dye at times that has been able to contribute it forward, a lot of times shooting more from the outside. But with the absence of Key and Green after her knee injury a couple of weeks back, Tennessee has to find an answer inside beyond Tamari Key, someone that will allow her to play the little more aggressiveness and a little more confidence that if she goes out with foul trouble or just needs a break, that Tennessee will be able to round things up down low. So find another answer inside. That's number 1. Number 2 is recapture the magic. This Tennessee team was on a fantastic run for much of the season. They've hit a rough patch as of late. A loss to Auburn last Thursday, a win in overtime over Arkansas on Monday, and then last night's loss to Florida. How do you recapture the magic? How do you get back in the gym and get everybody back on the same page? Well, that is the challenge that Kelly Harper and staff have as they prepare to go to Connecticut. Finally, number 3 is respect the legacy. This is a rivalry that has been unlike any other in women's college basketball history. Tennessee defeated Connecticut in Connecticut on the way to its last national championship in 2008. This rivalry was not played for a long time after that. Respect the history. Also, don't be dominated by it. Play Connecticut 2022, not Connecticut 2002. And there's a little bit of a revenge factor after Tennessee went toe-to-toe with the Huskies last year, a game that came down to the final seconds, and a very important Paige Beckers made 3-pointer. Beckers not expected back in the lineup tomorrow after her injury earlier this year. So let's review the 3 keys to the game. Number 1, find that answer inside. Number 2, find a way to recapture that magic. And number 3, respect the legacy. Those are the keys to a Lady Vol victory over Connecticut coming up on Sunday. Earlier this week, I was able to catch up with Lady Vol for Life Meighan Simmons as she tells us about her life playing overseas, her connections to Tennessee, and some of her favorite memories of Coach Pat Summitt.
Today on Countdown to Tip-Off, we're pleased to be joined by our special guest once again from all the way across the world. Today, Meighan Simmons joins us. Meighan, good afternoon. How are you on this, on what is Friday for us here in the U.S.? I know where you are. Maybe timing may be a little different here a couple days before the Connecticut game.
Is it really? Is it Friday? Is it Friday for y'all?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm amazing, man. I can't really complain. I can't complain at all.
So tell people where you are right now, where you're playing, and how that's going for you right now.
I'm in Istanbul. Turkey right now, playing for Beşiktaş. It's one of the bigger clubs here in Turkey. My experience has, been up and down. Of course, it's another country. You got to get used to the flow, the way the teams play here and things like that. So it's really not as bad. I've been doing this for 8 years, so it's really nothing new now.
What is the experience overall like playing basketball overseas? And what's the market? I realize in so many different places, there's so many different opportunities for women to play sports overseas professionally, even more so than in this country. What is that experience like on a day-to-day basis, being one of those big-time stars in some of these international markets?
I mean, it has its ups and downs, I will admit. And it can be tough when you're not used to being in another country or you've never been on the other side of the world. But for me, because I have done it for a while, the experience is actually really, really good. I mean, you get to experience another country, another culture, something that's just completely different than what you're used to. But basketball, of course, like I said before, it's the flow of the game is a lot different. Out here, it's almost like they play football. And it's really out here, but I enjoy it. I mean, because that's how I grew up playing. So I'm used to it and I enjoy it. That's why I'm going to keep playing till my legs fall off.
People remember so much of your time at Tennessee. You came into Tennessee at an interesting time with coming off a couple national championships, then by Tennessee standards, one of the worst seasons that they had ever had. You come in and then it's that success starts up right again. You get to the verge of the Final Four, Elite Eight appearances, but didn't quite get over the hump. What, as you reflect back on everything that happened in your career at Tennessee, what were some of those markers that you remember the most in trying to get the program back where it wanted to be?
I think what I remember the most is the fact of how resilient, we really were. I mean, every season, okay, sometimes we couldn't get over the hump, but I think as Tennessee, as a culture, the Tennessee Lady Ball culture is very resilient. I mean, we don't normally recruit people who are not resilient in themselves or want to compete, because that's what Pat, molded us in, was to compete, be resilient, and bounce back. And even though we didn't get over the hump, it was always something that we could have done better for next season. And we started from the beginning until we finished. But I think now, seeing everything that's going on and me taking a look back at everything, I'm like, man, there's so many things I would have done differently, so many things that we could have done differently collectively. But I mean, things happen. I mean, you learn your lesson from it and you keep moving forward.
You were one of the last players to be coached by Pat Summitt at Tennessee. What was, as you remember and reflect back on your time with Pat and the lessons learned and that opportunity, what are some of those things that stick out to you and that you remember the most?
I just remember how fun it was. Just like how fun and competitive it was. I mean, it was hard to not expect that every day, and to be pushed by somebody who, was I would call it a matriarch of women's basketball. And I think that to be able to learn from her, and just experience her in a completely different light that just wasn't basketball. I just remember the laughter. I remember having fun, being able to compete, but still being able to be women, off the court and enjoying ourselves, not just with each other, but with her. I can say that's for sure what I really remember the most about Pat.
This current Tennessee team, coached by somebody who, I mean, we both knew Pat very well, but when I hear Kelly Harper talk, especially when I hear just the audio on radio, there are so many little things that she picked up playing under Pat that it really sticks with me. And now they're having the success that this program's accustomed to. What's it been like to watch that from afar?
From afar, I mean, at times, I know it's late for me to watch the game sometimes, but of course, UT replays the highlights and things like that. But I think now with Kelly, I think her energy and, of course, being molded, as I said, being molded by Pat, it's hard to not retain the energy that Pat always gave off. And I think because she has learned a lot from being there from the beginning, I think every year she just gotten better. She has challenged the girls a lot more, which makes it even better and makes them more hungry to actually compete, which in return is allowing everybody to realize, like, okay, we got to get the program back to where it is. So when I see the players come back and I see the the energy, the defense, the rebound and things like that. And I just see him compete. I'm like, man, this is where the program should be at all times. And sometimes, you have your rough patches and things like that. But I think with her and how she talks, and sometimes when I hear her talk, I'm like, man, it's those little golden nuggets that some people probably will never understand and may not even be able to repeat unless they were actually coached under Pat Summitt. And the girls that she has now, I'm glad that they have been as receptive as she is. Like listening to their interviews, how they talk about her, it shows how much respect that they have. And I think that that's where it starts to getting the program back to where it is, like being a winning program for sure. Respecting the coach, trickling down.
Last thing for you, and I'll let you get out. It's when people see the players today diving on the floor, and you're seeing it a ton, there are two people that get referenced most to me by people that call into our radio show, by people that I see around the game. It's Drea Carter and it's Meighan Simmons. What's it like to be remembered as one of those players that when it was on the line was diving for balls and was doing everything they could to get that extra possession for their team?
I think it's a shocker because when I look back on it, it's kind of like I was known as this energetic scoring type person, but it's little things like that reminds me that I was more than just a scorer, because I always wanted to do something to help the team win, like whether it was me or, again, like you said, whether it was Drea. But it just so happened to be us. And I think that the fact that I'm able to be remembered as something other than that, it does my heart good, like knowing that, because I know that the expectation was for me to give so much more. And now that I'm actually like recognizes that, it's just like, yeah, it's hard to take in, but I appreciate it now. I appreciate it even more. And it makes me feel blessed and to have the opportunity to be recognized as that, for sure.
Well, Meighan, we certainly appreciate your time. How can people follow you and follow your career overseas right now as you continue going through this season?
Right now, I'll start posting the links a little bit more on Meg Simmons 3 on Instagram, and on Twitter. I don't really get on Twitter or anything like that, but Instagram, you can follow me at MEIG Simmons 3.
Great way for people to keep up. I know it's tough with the way your seasons are, but hope we can see you at Thompson Bowling Arena sometime in the future, and let everybody stand up and give that round of applause for their Meighan Simmons memories.
We'll see. It might be sooner than you think.
I like it. I like it. Meighan, thanks so much for joining us as we preview Tennessee and UConn this weekend. Look forward to catching up with you again soon.
You're welcome. Good talking to you.
It's always great to hear from the Lady Vol for Life, Meighan Simmons. Lady Vol suffered a loss earlier this season when graduate center Kian Green suffered a torn ACL. While her time on the court may have come to a close at Tennessee, Kian has always been more than just a basketball player. Let's watch as we learn more about the person, athlete, and Lady Vol, Kian Green.
Project Life Movement is an organization that works closely with another organization called Gift of Life. And what Gift of Life does is they cure blood cancer through stem cell and bone marrow donations. Project Life goes to college campuses all around the country and sets up donor drives. They were on the campus of Liberty University, which I formerly attended, and they had a table outside of our library. And one of my teammates actually happened to be working behind the table and just called me over just to chit-chat a little bit. The way you sign up for the registry is to swab the inside of your cheek, and they send it off to their labs and then see if you're a match. So I ended up swabbing just in our little conversation, and then they called me about a year later and told me I was a match. When I got the call, they kind of explained to me, I'd been matched with a patient who had acute lymphoma and needed a stem cell transplant. And so they explained the whole process to me and what my role in it would be and what she needed from me, and then how fast or, slow we could get it going. And then we went from there. When I originally started this process, I was still at Liberty University and I was still doing a little bit of the preliminary work and just kind of playing a waiting game because they really just needed to verify that I was a match for this patient. But after I transferred and committed to the University of Tennessee, that was a little closer to the actual donation date. I called Kelly just because I knew that there was a couple injections that I was going to have, a little bit of medicine that I wasn't familiar with and that I knew needed to, get approved by the athletic trainers before, I let it in my body. So I gave her a call, just kind of updated her on what was going on, and she was super excited and supportive.
The way I approached it was she had an opportunity that not many people get to have. She has an opportunity, honestly, to save a life. We wanted to support her through that decision and through that process, even though at this point she still had not been on our campus.
The donation process was pretty simple. Gift of Life and Project Life worked together to facilitate where I would give blood to just ensure that I was a match with the patient. They organized it at different clinics around the Orlando area just because that was the closest for me. And then when the actual donation time came around, they put me on a train to Boca Raton. They put me up in this super nice resort, the Opal Grand Resort, which is right on the beach. And you can stay there for 3 days, up to a week, because they need you there at least 3 days before your actual day of donation. But if you elect to, you can take the whole week completely paid for. I donated stem cells, not bone marrow. So for that process, you have to be hooked up to a centrifuge, I believe it's called, where they take the blood out of one arm, run it through this machine, it spins out and separates the blood cells, and then it goes back in your bloodstream through the other arm. My donation process was about 6 or 7 hours. Afterwards, I would say I was just a little tired, but I wouldn't say that I was in any significant pain or anything. I didn't have major side effects from the medication. I was pretty excited. I was just excited that I was able to help save somebody's life, because that's not something that everybody gets to do. They have kind of some protocols in place that say that you can't have any contact with the patient up to a year post-op. But what they do, which is awesome, is they have kind of a liaison between her and I. And so if I want to write her a letter or give her some encouragement or something, I can just send that over to the liaison and they'll make sure that it gets to her. I think about it often just because it's just being able to help somebody in their time of need, because oftentimes when these patients are matching with Gift of Life donors, this is their last chance. They tried every experimental type of drug, everything to try to cure their cancer, and there's nothing left. I mean, it's really a once in a lifetime experience, and there's nothing that can replace it.
Kian is a really special young woman, and she's one of those people that when she leaves, she's going to do great things. And I think this is just a precursor of that. Having Kian be this person, be this advocate for Project Life, but also, stepping out of one's comfort zone and being able to help in a bigger way than most people are able. It really just speaks to who Kian is as a person.
What a great story on Kian Green, and certainly wish her the best in her recovery from the knee injury, and hope that she can continue her career, of course, currently pursuing a PhD at the University of Tennessee. Prior to the Lady Vols trip to Storrs, they played in 2 games this week, hosting Arkansas on Monday night before the trip to Florida last night. The Monday night tip against the Razorbacks went down to the wire, an overtime thriller. The Lady Vols will need more of the same against UConn this Sunday. But for now, let's take a look back at that overtime thriller Monday night against the Arkansas Razorbacks.
And then a quick bucket by Tennessee down on the other end. Right baseline, Burrell. 15-footer by Burrell. No good. Walker is there. Puts it up good. Second free throw by Burrell. That one's no good. Rebound kept alive by Dye. Horston gets it. Puts it up from in front. Got it. Miles off to Horston. Horston into the paint. Puts it up in front. Got it. Horston comes into front court. Right side of the circle. Skips it over to Puckett. Left corner for a 3. Got it. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here's Puckett. Left wing Darby. Fires a 3. Got it. Comes back out to Miles, fakes a three, drives in, dumps it off left side. Puckett. Puckett puts it up good. Burrell drives the right side, puts up a little 8-foot jumper, no good. Darby with a rebound, back to Horston. 10-footer by Horston is good. And Puckett out muscles Goforth with a rebound, puts it back up good by Puckett. Horston, right side Burrell, spots up for a three. Got it. Out to Burrell. Burrell spots up, fires a three, back rims it no good. Miles with a rebound, goes in, lays it up good. Miles right side of the circle to Puckett. Inside to Dye. Dye double team, spins back away from the double team, puts it up good. Dye's first point of the game. Miles drives right, goes all the way in for the layup, missed it, rebound Dye, puts it up good. Looks, comes back to Walker straight away. She will and misses it. Rebound tipped around. Horston has it. Horston puts it up good. Burrell goes in for the rebound, puts it up good. 11. Horston with a floater from the baseline, good. Walker in front court to Burrell. Burrell drives the baseline, goes up and hits the layup. Here's Walker into Horston. Horston into the paint, puts it up from 5 feet, good. Burrell gets it on the left wing. Puckett, top of the key. Here's Horston, right side of the circle. Horston drives right, puts up the shot, good. Walker dribbles right. Walker steps back, shoots from 15, hits it. Gets it over to Puckett. She's free for a three-pointer. Got it. Darby sneaked in front of Wolfenbarger. Inside to Key. Key hooks it up good. Ramirez and lost it. Walker picks it up. Now to Horston. Off to Burrell. Count it. She's fouled by Ramirez. Horston, right side of the circle. Comes back to Walker for a three-point shot. Got it. And we're tied. Here's Burrell with a steal. Burrell, lone layup right side, good. Here's Burrell, top of the key, trying to answer with a three. She does. Walker skips it over to Darby. Off to Horston. Horston with a little floater in front, good. Horston with a rebound. 3-on-2. Horston right side against Langerman. Puts it up from in front. Good. Horston dribbles left. Lobs it down to Key. Key off to Miles. Miles quick shot. Missed it. Key with the rebound. Puts it back up. Good. To Puckett right side. Now to Horston on the right wing. Down low to Puckett. Puckett tried to get it to Key. Key goes to the floor to save it. Gets it out to Walker. Walker goes to the floor to save it. Burrell for a three. Got it. Here's Walker. Comes to Horston high straight away. Horston lobs it down to Key. Key left hand counted, fouled by Wolfenbarger. Here's Burrell on the left wing to Key, top of the key. Horston right side of the circle, shoots from 15 and hits it. And the horn sounds, and the game is over. Tennessee comes from behind. The Cardiac Kids have done it again.
A great win on Monday night and some great opportunities still to see Tennessee at Thompson-Boling Arena coming up a little later on this month. And you can check out that home schedule and get tickets right now at allvols.com. Take your volunteer spirit on the road with a new official license plate for Tennessee alumni. The purchase of each plate supports student scholarships and enables success of volunteers today and tomorrow. You can learn more about these plates at alumni.utk.edu/license plate. The Office of Alumni Affairs, in coordination with the UT system, is excited to launch Connect UT. Connect UT is a new forum just for Tennessee Vols to network, mentor, and connect. This new website will foster relationships between Vols who can offer career advice and those who seek guidance. The new website is now live and can be found by visiting connect.tennessee.edu. Great work to connect alumni to current students. And that's somebody, now we go to somebody who knows a lot about that. That is Associate Vice Chancellor for Alumni Affairs, Dwayne Wiles. Dwayne, always great to have you on Countdown to Tip-Off. Some exciting things going on around the university and around the Knoxville community.
Yes, it is. And thank you so much, Brian, for having me again. And hello, Lady Vol Nation. You know, before the big game against UConn on Sunday, I just want to share with this amazing audience how you can be proud, be involved, and be invested in UT. First and foremost, be proud by showing your big orange spirit. As we know, we like to say around here, by wearing your orange each Friday. And as Brian mentioned earlier, another way to be proud is by purchasing the brand new UT specialty license plate. And as I like to say, you can ride with pride every time you hit the road. Secondly, be involved by attending an event like today and joining, as you heard also earlier, our new career network and mentoring platform called Connect UT. To get signed up today, all you have to do is visit connectut.tennessee.edu. And lastly, be invested in our students. Make one gift every year, any size, to an area of campus that you're most proud about. You can donate today by simply texting VOLS, that's Vols, to 865-345-5100. Just text VOLS to 865-345-5100. As always, Brian, I appreciate you having me. Go Vols, and let's beat those Huskies.
It would be a great Sunday and a great start to a fun week in the sports world with the win over Connecticut on Sunday, wouldn't it?
Yes, it will.
Looking forward to it. Dwayne, thanks for joining us. As always, we'll talk to you again soon. Before we wrap things up today, got to send out a big congratulations to William Towler of Rochester, New York. You are our Lady Vol fan of the week. Be on the lookout for something good headed your way. And don't forget to tune in to Sunday's game as the Lady Vols take on UConn at noon on Fox. Looking forward to that one, the rekindling of the rivalry, and a great matchup on the court. That's going to wrap things up for today. I'm Brian Rice. Go Big Orange. Let's beat the Huskies.